It's not a question of should you want to learn C++, it's a question of do you want to learn C++. Why do I say that? Because C++ coding is very different than, say, things like JavaScript or Java or PHP or Python. Very different type of development, very different type of mind who would want to work with this language or the other. So let me give you some details. First of all, C++ is used to write highly efficient, fast running code. Fast running code. So it's used in embedded systems for game engines, it's used in AI on the core engines, and a bunch of areas where either you need to have very fast code, intensive code, meaning you can run through data very quickly and efficiently, or you need code that's highly efficient where maybe you have a small device that requires some programming, but you don't have much memory or CPU. So you need a language that is super fast. So that's where C++ comes in handy. Now, the reason C++ is able to run so fast because it's a lower level code than, let's say, Java, JavaScript, C#, Python, etc. What do I mean by lower level? Meaning it's closer to the CPU. If you look at computers, because it's just a YouTube video, I'm going to talk in broad terms, you have your CPU, your central processing unit, and then you have a layer of code and 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 a layer of code. So you might have the CPU, the machine language, assembly, C, C++, Java, JavaScript, C# over here. You get the idea. The closer you are to the CPU, the faster the code can run at runtime. Yeah, faster running code is cool, but there's a cost to it. And the cost is that as the developer, as you're writing that C++ code, as you're writing that lower level code, as you're writing that code that runs much faster, you, as a developer, will have to explicitly take care of a bunch of details that those higher level languages like JavaScript and Java and C# and Python and PHP, etc., they take care of a bunch of stuff that you don't have to take care of. First thing that comes to mind is memory allocation, memory management. This is a source of many bugs in C++ coding. So as a developer, you have to explicitly, meaning you have to take care of memory allocation yourself. You have to allocate it, you have to free it up, and it's a big mess. It's not something I do, it's not something I'm familiar with. I just seen it and I went, no way for me, forget it. Java, C#, JavaScript, and all the modern languages, they take care of that for you. But the cost of these higher level languages, taking care of all these dirty details for you, that you have to take care of yourself as a C++ developer, the cost is those languages don't run nearly as fast. Now, speed at which the code runs, I call that speed of runtime, many times is not nearly as important as speed of write time. Meaning, if it takes you 100 hours to write something in C++ and it's like 0.5% faster, at least as far as the user is concerned, versus, you can write the same code in Python in 1 hour, it makes sense to do it in Python. So in fact, in the AI space, I've seen interviews with some of the top AI people where they say they write the core kernel, if you will, the aspect, the heart of the AI engine is C++. Everything else is in Python because they said if they did everything in C++, it would take them forever to get anything done. So think of it this way. You can write some C++ code that will be, let's say, 10 times faster than the Java equivalent. So the Java code takes, you click on something and it takes care of it, it processes the algorithm in half a second. And C++ takes care of it in one-tenth of a half a second, whatever that is. Now, yeah, it's 10 times faster, but is it really functionally more useful to the user? Like, will the user discern the difference between something that takes a half a second versus one-tenth of a second? Probably not in most situations. On the other hand, if you're building a gaming engine with that has to process a lot of graphics and so forth, you probably want to do that in the fast C++ language. So back to the original question, should you learn C++ in 2023? Again, it comes down to whether or not you want to do that type of programming. So step one, look at the type of programming that you do in C++ world. Check it out. You can find job postings. Check it out. You can see it's going to be robotics, it's going to be game engine development, it could be big data processing. Those type of jobs also imply a certain type of work environment. You're going to probably be working at larger, more established businesses, bigger companies, corporate structures, more often than you would if you, say, did web development, or you did JavaScript, or you did Python, or you did PHP. Different game. One is not better than the other universally. It's all circumstantial, all depends on what you want to do. I have, in my career, preferred to work with higher level languages because I like building systems where my code is directly answering business problems, whereas C++ code, although it is indirectly, when you write C++ code, the code that you write is indirectly answering or solving business problems, but your code is doing things behind the scenes that doesn't interact necessarily directly with the user. I know it's hard to explain, but it's an extra layer down. So if I were to sum it up, do C++ if you're a very highly detailed oriented dude or dudette who likes working in fine-grained details. You like the idea of optimizing your code so it runs a split second faster. You like working on highly detailed algorithms. You're good in math and this kind of stuff. Then you can do C++. If on the other hand you want to build systems that are more high level, where you interact, where your code is more front-facing with the user, then more often than not you'd be better off in languages like Java, JavaScript, C# and so on. Again, I know some major nerds out there are going to nitpick about my characterization, but the general feeling, if you will, of my description between C++ coding and developing code with higher level languages like the Python and JavaScript and so forth, I think you get the spirit of the difference. So let me leave you with these 2 bullet points. So a friend of mine who's a very experienced C++ developer said to me, if you have a problem that can only be solved with C++, it's better to have the problem. That is his opinion, because apparently C++ is wild out there with different variants and libraries and so forth. Again, I'm not a C++ developer, so I couldn't say, I couldn't get into any detail with regards to that. And the other point I like to make, it is in Ruby.